Hey guys, Shabadoobie here, bring you the rest of the Amonkhet spoilers that I forgot to actually do a video on because I was out of town and I couldn't do them. But now I'm here, and let's go ahead and talk about everything that I missed on Amonkhet. These are going in pretty much color order, so I'm going to start from the top left and go bottom right this time. I used to go bottom right to top left, but since these are everything, there's no actual order to release. Might as well go with top left. Alright, let's go ahead and start with Compulsory Rest. 2 mana. Uh, Aura. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. That's pretty decent. It's pacifism. And enchanted creature has tapped. 2. Sacrifice this creature, you gain 2 life. So they can sacrifice it to gain 2 life. So you kind of give them a benefit. Unless you are able to sack it to gain 2 life. But that's kind of OP. And I kind of like the fact that this guy reminds me of Nakamura from WWE. You know, I don't know why, but he does. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about Devoted Crop Mate. 3 mana for a 3/2 with Exert. When you exert him, he returns a creature card or convert mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's actually not too bad, but every set has one of them, so it's nothing too amazing. Alright. Fanbearer, white zombie. That's already weird. He's a 1/2. What does that tell me? Well, that he's actually not a bad turn 1 play. Technically, let me make sure I'm not muted. But yeah, I just think his tap ability is overcosted. But for a 1-drop, that's actually not bad. He'll see limited play. Forsake the Worldly. 3 mana for instant. This exile target artifact or enchantment. I actually think this is actually really good. And could actually see play in like possible main board, just because the fact that if they're not playing artifacts or enchantments, you can cycle it and use it just to draw a card, and it's not bad. I like it. And it's exile effect instead of a destroy effect, so they won't be able to get it back. So that's pretty good. Alright, Gustwalker. 2 mana for a human wizard, 2/2. Has exert, and when you do, it gets +1/+1 and flying until end of turn. That's kind of meh, but it's not terrible. It's okay for limited, but it's terrible for everything else, unless there's a better way to do it, but it's not very good. Alright, Ret Crop Spearmaster. 3 mana for a 3/1 human warrior. He also has exert. When you exert him, he gets +1/+0 and first strike until end of turn. That's okay, I guess, but it's not like a combat trick where they won't see it coming. They'll see that he's a 4/1 first striker, but he's not. I actually kind of like him a little bit better than the Gustwalker, but he's still only going to be seeing limited play. Seraph of the Suns, a 7 mana 4/4 flying angel with indestructible. It's actually not bad because there's not many angels that are indestructible actually, and for an uncommon one, he's not too bad. He's not gonna see standard play or anything, but EDH I think will give him a home. Darn it, freaking all these updates about my channel. All right, Sparring Mummy. 4 mana for a 3/3 zombie. When it enters battlefield, untap target creature. That's not terrible, I guess. I'm sure that somewhere there's a combo with him. Not a very good one, because there's already billions of effects that have the same ability, but he is another piece of a combo somewhere. So, Those who serve is a 3 mana 2/4 zombie. A very decent limited card. That's all it's going to see. Limited play. Nothing else. Vizier of Remedies. 2 mana for 2/1 human cleric. If one or more -1/-1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many -1/-1 counters -1 are put on it instead. This is actually really, really good. Like, I would say people are underestimating this card, except for they're not. They all know this card's good. Let me go ahead and show you the card it's similar to. Malera. It's similar to that, except for you can get poison counters still, but if they put like two -1 counters on at the same time, they'll have one instead. But if you have like something gets one -1 counter, they don't get anything. So it's a really good combo of a certain bunch of cards that get neg counters. So it's really good, and it will see modern play. Not so much of standard play, but I'm sure there is something there. Might have to wait till the next set. I can't remember what it was, like Hour Reckoning or something. I forgot what it was. But she is really good, and I suggest picking her up at least, like, casually pick her up for something. Like, she's going to be seeing some sort of play. That's what I'm going to say. Aven Initiate. 4 mana for a 3/2 Flying Glove and Bomb of 7. Very solid limited card. That's all I can say. Flying is very big and limited. And this is basically 2 flyers put into 1. Just, that end bomb cost is really high and not very amazing. Alright. Cancel. I don't actually have to talk about cancel. It's the most basic counter target spell ability, period. But it's not too bad. Cancel gets hate, but it's not a bad card. Alright. Compelling Argument. 2 mana for a target player puts the top 5 cards of his library into the graveyard. That's a pretty solid ability. And you can cycle it. Solid ability. Probably we'll see play in some sort of weird mill deck. It's not the best mill, because there's a couple that do the same ability for 1 mana. But none of them have cycling, so this already has a slight edge. It's 2 mana, but it has the possibility of being cycled later if you have a better mill strategy going on. It's not bad. I like it. Gale Strike. 3 mana for a return target. Tap creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Pretty solid. Just removal for bounce. Like when they attack, they're tapped. You just bounce it back and you draw a card. And it almost looks like he's like shooting out Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I kind of see this card in foil. It's not that amazing, but it's good and limited. You could say a lot of things are good and limited because, well, in the vacuum of limited, lots of cards are good, even bad ones. But this one might see some standard play because it also draws you a card, so it's not terrible. Alright. Heckma Sentinels. 3 mana for a 2/3 Human Cleric. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, Heckma Sentinels gets +1/+1 to an turn. This is actually surprisingly very good. And could be a finisher in a cycle deck. Because if you have certain cards, you can actually just cycle through a shit ton of cards and kill them with one of these guys. There's a couple cards that have the this sort of ability, but this one's like the most basic one. And it could be a slight finisher. Slight Swiss Sphere, kind of, but blue. And you have to cycle or discard. So it's kind of weird. Illusionary Wrappings. It's 3 mana for a aura that has enchanted creature as base power and toughness of 0/2. I like this card. Might see sideboard play, maybe, but it's nothing too amazing. It'll see play in limited for sure, but for actual standard or modern, only sideboard because it's not anything amazing. It does not shut off abilities. It just makes it a 0/2. Like, it's nothing amazing. So that's all I can say. Alright, Naga Oracle. 4 mana for a 2/4 Naga Cleric. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put any number of them into your graveyard, and the rest of them on top of your library in any order. I like this card. Very good and limited. And there's a slight temptation for me to make a Naga EDH deck once they start making a couple more. So probably going to be the next set. We'll have more Nagas, and maybe a new Naga Lord or something. And the whole setup will be pretty complete. I'm going to like it. Maybe, hopefully. Open into Wonder. X and 2 blue. X target creatures can't be blocked this turn. And then in a turn, until end of turn, those creatures gain. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. This is actually a really solid card, and I know it's going to see limited play. Only it's going to see EDH play, and I don't think it's going to see standard, modern, or a legacy. It might actually see some standard play, maybe, but only like as a 1 or 2 of, and it's only going to be barely used. So, but EDH is a solid card because you could cheat your commander through, and it draws you a card. It's really good. River Serpent, 6 mana for 5/5. Serpent that can't attack unless there are 5 or more cards in your graveyard, which is actually really easy to turn on. And he has cycling, so this card is really good and limited, and might see play in EDH in a weird Serpent deck for just shits and giggles. But it's not bad. I would play it in limited maybe, because big beaters are a thing. And if you think it's a draw spell, so Sacred Excavation, 4 mana for return 2 target cards with cycling from your graveyard to your hand. This is good in EDH, but not too sure about like standard and modern, because there's no like amazing cycling cards that really deserve to come back. So from your graveyard to your hand, because they're just gonna be used to draw cards again, unless they're like really late game bombs that you really want to get back in play. I don't know. I'm not too fond of this card. It's not terrible, but it's not especially good. Not unless there's like a really good card of cycling that comes up that really could use this. Alright. Seeker of Insight, 2 mana for 1/3 Human Wizard. Draw a card and discard a card. Only activate this ability if you cast a non-creature spell this turn. This card I actually don't like at all, because this card's just bad. It's a terrible looter, and stay away from this card. Unless you're playing a really big bunch of non-creature spells, then sure, you can play it, but it's still a terrible merfolk looter. So stay away from this card. It's just not good. Shimmer Scale Drake, 5 mana for 3/4 flying with cycle 2. It's a Drake, and it's actually really solid in EDH. And cycling makes it just usable in pretty much anything if you actually really wanted a 3/4 fly for 5. But most decks would not want that. But he's not terrible. Slither Blade is a 1 mana, 1/2 Naga Rogue that can't be blocked. It's actually pretty good. I actually like him. And if I ever made that Naga deck, he's definitely going in it, because he's pretty cool. Look at him. You know, look at that. And he can't be blocked. Who knows what you could put on him? Obviously, equipment of some sort. But I like him quite a bit. Ta Crop Skirmisher, 2 mana for a 2/1 Naga Warrior. This one's not as good looking, and he has an Embalm 4, by the way. He's very basic and doesn't really have as much of a use, besides to have a space in a Naga deck. Gotta make Nagas actually somewhat a thing, so you gotta make them like have battle ones too. Alright. Winds of Rebuke, 2 mana for return target non-land permanent to his owner's hand. Each player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his graveyard. It's not bad. So it bounces a non-land permanent to his owner's hand. That's actually pretty good, because if they have some sort of lock on you, that will stop it. And it mills, which isn't exactly the best part of this, but at least it has the non-land permanent part. So it's a good way to get rid of certain things. It's not bad, and if there's a deck that really needs it, I think I'll like this card. It just doesn't have a home quite yet. Well, I mean, there might be a home for it. It just doesn't know it yet. Zenith Seeker, 4 mana for a 2/2 Bird Wizard. Alright. Flying, whenever you cycle or discard a card, target creature gains flying until end of turn. Very solid in EDH, and probably gonna see limited play, but that's about it, because that's about all he does. It's nothing too special. Alright. Baleful Ammit, 3 mana, 2 and a black. 4/3 Crocodile Demon. I like this card actually because it's a 4/3. See 4/3 lifelink. That when it enters the battlefield, put a -1/- counter on target creature you control. A lot of times it's going to be put it on himself, so he'll be a 3/2 with lifelink, which a 3/2 lifelink for 3 is actually really good. Especially for a demon subtype that has no real drawback, really. Because the drawback is putting a -1/- counter on target creature control, which would probably be himself, which actually puts him into... He's still undercosted for his stat line for black. Because a 3/2 lifelink for 3 is still really good. 4/3 lifelink for 3 is beyond good, so there's nothing bad about this card at all, really. The drawback isn't as much of a drawback as just the way to make the OP card not as OP if that's the only card you have. But if you have like a Blighted Bat up, for instance, you could actually kill the bat and have this big 4/3 lifelinker still. You know, without the little bit of a hitch of him being a 3/2. But yeah, he's not bad. I like him. But the bat is a 3 mana, a zombie bat. It's 2/1, flying. Tap 1, gains haste until end of turn. It's not really that good. I mean, in limited it is actually good because flying is good in limited. And a bat that can gain haste late game. If you happen to have like 4 mana, and that's top deck mode. There you go. That's something. It's not very amazing though, because the stat line is actually kind of just meh. But it's not terrible though. Like, you gotta expect some like low quality flying monsters from black. So this is one of them. All right, Bone Picker. 3 black, 3/2. Bone Picker costs 3 less to cast if the creature dies this turn. He's got Flying Death Touch. When I said low value or no low quality flying creatures, I did not mean this guy. This guy's actually really good, and there's comparisons to Delver of Secrets, and these comparisons are absolutely correct because this guy I find to be better than Delver in lots of ways. All right. Delver, I'm sure. Oh, it's not even on here. I would expect it to be there, but Delver, you have to be lucky enough to flip him. Sometimes he won't flip at all. This guy, you can control when he flips. You just have to kill something, or like anything. Your creature, their creature, anything has to die, and he costs 1 mana to play, and it's a very solid card. 3/2 Death Touch with flying, like for 1, this is super good. He could not have flying, and he'd still be good. But flying just puts him over the top and makes him modern playable. So, we'll see play in standard and modern. I don't know about legacy, because there's not as much creatures, really. And control is a much more of a thing there. But he might see... people are going to test him in legacy. He might see a home there, or he might not. Not sure yet. Faith of the Devoted. 3 mana, 4 enchantment. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, you may pay 1. If you do, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This is with like the Drake Haven cycle. There's only like discard and then that one. This is the alternate finisher to, the cycle deck, if there is the cycle deck. Which you actually could have just a pure discard deck and have the same effect. So it's not bad. It's very solid for uncommon, but it's a very build me around card though. You're not gonna just throw this in any deck because, well, it's made for cycle or discard, so it's not bad though. I kind of like it, even though the Drake Haven is better in my opinion because you have something that can actually block. But hey, you can slowly drain your opponent and gain some life with this one. So it has some interesting things. Alright, Festering Mummy. Black for a zombie is a 1/1. When he dies, you put a -1/- counter on target creature. This is kind of like Festering Goblin, but closer to... Isn't there a one in... No, they don't have it. There is one in Scars of Mirrodin, I believe, that's similar, but I'm not too sure. I could have swore there was a Veteran Goblin that already did this, but there you go. There's another one. You can maybe have like a whole deck of these 1/1 zombies that when they die, they make a -1/-1 sort of thing. It's not very effective and it's terrible actually. So, but this is okay limited, and that's about it. I mean, someone might try it in standard, but it's not gonna be very good. All right, final reward, 5 mana, exile target creature. I actually like this card, very good in limited. Might see standard and modern play. Just don't know yet. Like, I have to actually test this card out. And it might actually see some EDH play, actually. But, like, it's not bad. But I would rather have creatures go to the graveyard in EDH. Because sometimes, if I'm playing black, I might have a way to get that card back from their graveyard. So, it's kind of iffy for me. Alright. Horror of the Broken Lands. 5 mana for a 4/4 horror. I really hate horrors. They're really bad. Alright, whenever you cycle or discard another card, Horror of the Broken Lands gets +2/+1 until end of turn. This is actually really good. And this would be like probably one of the better, just if you cycle a card or discard, pump this dude type of abilities. So it's actually pretty solid. And he has cycle 1. Just 1 black to discard him and draw a card. So he will see limited play and possibly EDH play. And there's even a small chance of standard play. Depends on if cycling is a thing in standard. I have my doubts, but Pitiless Vizier. 4 mana for a 4/2. Alright. When you cycle or discard a card, he gains indestructible until end of turn. That's not too bad. The problem is there's so many -1/-1 effects and counters on this, like in this set. Indestructible is kind of nerfed in this set, so he's actually not that amazing. But he's Minotaur, so he can go in EDH pretty easily. Because now that the Minotaur Commander is coming out, this guy actually has a home, so I kind of like that. Alright, Ruthless Sniper, a 1 mana 1/2 again. It's actually really pretty decent cost, actually. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Actually, a really solid ability. This guy's actually really good. And, you know, he's got some really simple flavor text. You may feel a slight sting. Yep. I like him. Will he see play anything in particular? I don't think so, but his stat line's good. His ability's not bad. And he's a human archer. Archers don't mean anything, though. But the human part, you know, like a white-black human deck might use him. Maybe. Soul Stinger. 4 mana for a 4/5. Scorpion Demon. I like the fact that it's a demon, and there's not many scorpions as far as I know. When it enters the battlefield, put 2 -1/-1 counters to target creature control. Okay, that kind of sucks. And when he dies, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature for each -1/-1 counter on Soul Stinger. So he promotes the counter to be put on him so that he can suicide into something. He's actually kind of bad, to be honest, but very interesting creature type and an interesting way to deal with the -1/-1 mechanic, but he's still pretty bad. Like a demon deck might not like that. If there's a scorpion deck, I don't think it's going to like this guy either, so... Supernatural Stamina. Black for instant until end of turn. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains. When this creature dies, returns to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. This is actually not bad. Really could probably go into a mono black aggro deck. So yeah, I like it. Or black red aggro could probably use it too. So this has a possibility of seeing some use. Could even see use in Commander. Sort of. Maybe. It's on the maybe list. Something I will be using in Commander, just because this does some things that I like to certain decks. Trespasser's Curse. 2 mana for Curse. Enchant player. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under enchanted player's control, that player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Put this onto a token deck or combo deck that involves creatures, and you pretty much automatically kill them. Like, what, they cannot do anything with their tokens. Like, every time they get a token, they lose 1 life for each creature that came into play, and you gain a life. Like, you're gonna make a very big enemy with this card, but you also pretty much destroy certain types of decks with this card. Really good. I approve of this curse. Wonder and Death. 3 mana for a sorcery. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. So really solid, and it has cycling too. I like this card for standard and limited. Might see play in certain EDH decks, maybe. Just because it has cycling, it raises up a little bit. It's nothing too amazing though, but it's not bad. Wasteland Scorpion, 3 mana for a 2/2. Oh, there's the old Scorpion deck going. It's not an actual thing, but it's a 2/2 Death Touch for 3. It's okay stats with cycling 2, so meh. All right. Brute Strength, 2 mana for a instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains trample turn. Pretty solid card actually, and it's not too bad. I like it. All right. Desert Ceradon, 6 mana for a 6/4 beast with cycle 1. Limited play is all this thing is ever gonna see, which is actually a complete lie because I remember a deck that would love this card, and that would be Living End. Living End would love this card because it has a huge body with a very small cycle cost. So you're gonna see play in Living End, and that's about it. Electrify, 4 mana instant, 4 nerfs to target creature. Limited play is all this thing's gonna see. Is what I would like to say, but this might see actual sideboard play in standard because there's not that much good burn for creatures, so this could see play. I hate to say it, but there's a possibility this card's seeing play. Alright, Emberhorn Minotaur. 4 mana for a 4/3 Minotaur Warrior. You may exert it when it attacks. When you do, it gains +1/+1 and menace to turn. Menace isn't the best keyword, but it's not terrible. It means I think 2 creatures had to block it, I believe, which isn't too bad, I guess, but it's nothing too amazing. Solid limited card. Like it, I would play it limited, but it's not gonna see too much else. So, all right. Manticore of the Gauntlet, 5 mana for a 5/4 Manticore. I don't see too many common Manticores, so color me surprised on that one. All right. When enters battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature control, and Manticore to Gauntlet deals 3 damage to target opponent. I actually kind of like it a little bit because that solid bird spell and a body to boot. Even though he would be probably a 4/3 if you're only having him. So a 4/3 and 3 damage for 5 mana. That's actually sounds like a pretty good deal. Like still, so solid limited card. I don't think it's gonna see any play in standard. Might see EDH play because someone might want to make a Manticore deck when there's no support for it. Because so far, look at this. There's probably not going to be that much Manticores. There's a couple Manticores in the past, but not enough to make a deck out of them. So, Minotaur, sure shot. I do not know how I had trouble with that. It's very basic. So, 3 mana for a 2/3 reach creature. 2 mana to pump them, +1/+0 to in turn. So limited card, and probably will see play in EDH in the Minotaur deck because reach is a thing, and I don't think Minotaurs have too many ways to deal with flyers besides burn. And it'll be splashing black too, so probably gonna have kill spells there too. But creature wise, they don't have much any ways to deal with it. So, Neff, Crop, Entangler. 2 mana for 2/1 human warrior with trample. Okay. I mean, exert him. When you do, he gets +1/+2 in turn, so he'll be a 3/3 with trample. He's not bad, but he's not amazing. He would probably see play in like just limited, and that's about it. You kind of, the art's okay, but not amazing. Pathmaker Initiate. 2 mana for 2/1 human wizard. With tap, target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. This is basically a functional reprint of a card. And my internet's out, so I guess I can't do that. Thank you, internet. I love you. It's a goblin card that's like a shortcut guy or something. I can't remember his name, but he's not very good. Never seen that much play. Well, I played him in a combo deck a long time ago because there was a card that needed to combat damage, and he's like a 2/1 or it's like a 2/3 or something, but it worked. So the deck itself sucked, but the combo worked technically. So it's just a functional reprint. All right, Pursue Glory. 4 mana for attacking creatures get +2/+0 till end of turn. Not bad, but it has cycle 2, so it's also not bad. If Red had a good token theme going for this set, this card would be really good. But for as it is, it's just an okay card. It's good in EDH. It's okay in limited. Not really gonna see much play in standard yet, but maybe with it has a possibility of getting better. So it's just currently it's not amazing. All right, Thresher Lizard. 3 mana for a 3/2 lizard. He gets +1/+2 as long as you have one or fewer cards in hand. So basically Hellbent. So he'll be a 4/4 if you have one or fewer cards in hand. That's not too bad, actually. It's a solid stat line for a common 3 mana cost lizard. So it's not bad. And the art's actually pretty nice. I kind of like the lizard. All right, Tormenting Voice. 2 mana for a sorcery that as additional cast to cast Tormenting Voice. Discard a card, draw 2 cards. They cannot seem to go a set without this card lately. So, it's not bad though. But it's not like it's not already in standard, which it is. So, well, it was last time I checked, but it might be rotating. All right, True Heart Twins. 5 mana for a 4/4. You make exert them when you attacks, and whenever you exert a creatures control get +1/+0 till end turn. This is actually a really solid card because you don't actually have to exert himself to have things boost. You can swing with him and 2 other cards. Exert those 2 cards, and all your creatures just got +2/+0, and he'll make him a 6/4. That's actually really solid. Actually, you don't even have to swing with him. You can just swing with whatever exert creatures you have, and they pump them. It's actually a really solid uncommon. I would think about actually running him in something. I don't know what. There's nothing really good. There's no real good exert creatures currently, but if there are, this guy might see some play, maybe. And Jackal's a cool creature type, by the way, so if there's ever enough Jackals, this card needs to go wherever that is, so. Alright, Violent Impact. 4 mana for a destroy target artifact or land. Okay, it's a sorcery, and a cycle 2. A very okay card. Nothing special. But a deck that I used to run before it got completely obsolete was Magnivore. This card would have been amazing for it when it was printed. Well, like when Magnivore was around and this card was printed, the card would have been nuts. But unfortunately, it's not the same standard. So Magnivore would be terrible in standard and modern. So long, Magnivore. How I missed you. Warfire Javelineer. 4 mana for 2/3 Minotaur Warrior. I love the Minotaur class. So, alright, when it enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to target creature or opponent it deals X damage to target creature opponent controls. And X is the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. This will see EDH play because I have a friend who was even talking about using a instant and sorcery cards in graveyard theme deck, and this would go perfectly into it. It's not really amazing though, but it's pretty solid. Like, I like it. Alright, Blazing Volley. Red for a sorcery does 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls. It's not bad. I like it. It's almost like a little baby pyroclasm, but for your opponent only. So it's really solid. We'll probably see limited play. I don't think it's gonna see standard play because there's not much. It's not gonna kill that much actually. And might see EDH play because 1/1 tokens are a thing. Benefaction of Ronus. 3 mana for sorcery. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature card and or a enchantment card from them among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest in your graveyard. It's a good card. We'll see play in random combo decks and possibly like a green-blue creature deck, maybe. Maybe a green-black deck might like it too. There's possibilities for this card because it actually can get you a enchantment and a creature. You don't have to pick one; you could pick 2, and everything else goes to the graveyard. So graveyard theme stuff would work, and you dig it's the top 5, so it's really good actually. I like it. All right, Bitter Blade Warrior, 2 mana for a 2/2 Jackal Warrior. I love the jackals. You may exert them as it attacks. When you do, it gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch. It's actually really good though. Normally, I don't like to exert stuff because you're losing a creature for the next turn for just a mediocre ability. But when you give it Death Touch, they usually are not going to block this thing. So, because they have to trade with whatever just attacked and whatever they blocked with. So, yeah, they're going to be taking 3. It's not bad. Defiant Great Maw, 3 mana for a 4/5 hippo. I really wonder how many hippos are actually in Magic because there's not that many, and this one is crazy looking. Alright, when enters battlefield, put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature control. Alright, so that would probably be going on to him. He would be a 2/3 for 3. And whenever you put 1 or more -1/-1 counters on Defiant Great Maw, remove a -1/-1 counter from another target creature control. So this thing has possibilities for something. There's pieces of a puzzle here. I just don't know how well it go with other cards. So I don't know. I have to wait and see on this card. I'm on the fence with it. Like, it's got a decent stat line without the -1/-1 counters. But with them, it's very mediocre. But the ability there could turn the tides on things. So I don't know. Gift of Paradise. 3 mana, enchant land. When it enters battlefield, you gain 3 life, and enchant land has tap, add 2 mana, any one color to your mana pool. I'm not exactly sure how well this is gonna do because most decks that want this ability have better options currently. But this isn't too bad. It adds 2 mana, and you gain 3 life. So I'm sure there is a deck that will want this somewhere at some point. I don't know about limited or standard or EDH, but somewhere this card might have a home. Greater Sandworm, 7 mana for 7/7, can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, cycle 2. There's another card that might see play in Living End, only that, because big creature 7/7 with a decent cycle cost of 2. So just cycle this, ta-da! Greater Sandworm, 7/7 that can't be blocked by small guys. So chump blockers can't stop him. That's why I think Living End is getting lots of good stuff in this set. Actually, I mean, Living End does kind of need some help. There's not as much good threats in currently, so eh. Heptra's Mark. 1 green. Instant target creature control gains hexproof until end turn and remove all -1/-1 counters from it. Would probably go pretty well with the Hippo. Maybe. It's actually not too bad. It's just that I'm not sure what this would be used for, because this basically requires something with -1/-1 counters to be full value. But I'm not sure what. This is just a mystery to me currently. I just actually see some deck lists with it and see what they have like come up with, because the current standard is very crazy right now, because there's a deck that I would not have expected to be there. That's the counter deck, and I like it. And if maybe this has some sort of like similar approach to it, there's gonna be something that this thing will help. Haze of Pollen, 2 mana for a Bring Winter Fog. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Really solid. And best of all, it has cycle 3, so it's pretty good. Crazy art too. Alright, nothing else I can actually say about it. Might see a Turbo Fog variant come up, but I don't know. Hooded Brawler, 3 mana for a 3/2 Naga. Well, Naga Warrior to be exactly, but to be exact. So I'm looking forward to the Naga deck coming out soon, maybe, if it's a thing. And it has exert. You can exert it when it attacks. When you do, it gets +2/+2 to the turn. So it'll be a 5/4. Not anything impressive, because you won't have trample or anything. I don't have that much. I'm not impressed with this one, because you're 3/2 for 3 for no real upside isn't that amazing. Not in green. Initiate's Companion, 2 mana for a 3/1 cat. Okay, and when it deals combat next to a player, untap target creature or land. This actually might see some sort of fringe play. Might actually see limited play, because it's actually not bad. But there might be some sort of combo with this. I don't know. Because the untap a target creature or land is a thing that isn't bad. So I don't know yet. Alright. Naga Vitalist. 2 mana for a 1/2 Naga Druid. Tap, add to your mana pool 1 mana any color. Any type that land you control could produce. Here's your mana producer, Naga. And he's not completely bad, but he's not that good, because he only gets mana you could produce, so it's not actually that good, unless you're having like a mana confluence or something first turn. Ta-da! Because then he make any killer mana, but he's not terrible. Definitely something that you probably end up running this in the Naga deck if it exists, when it exists, possibly. All right, Oshra Cultivator. Green for a 0/3 Human Druid. Alright. 3 mana, cycle. Search library for basic land card, put in a battlefield taps, and shuffle your library. That's not too impressive. It's definitely no Striker Trub Elder, but it's not terrible. Limited card for sure, because it's not bad, but it's just not on the level of anything that'd be modern, legacy, and possibly not even standard playable, but limited, sure. Honorary Kudu. 3 mana for a 3/4 Antelope. Odd creature type. When it enters battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature control. Okay, probably going to be himself. It would be a 2/3 for 3. Basic stat line. Not anything impressive, so. Not that impressive, this card, but it's not terrible. If you ever get another creature that likes -1/-1 counters, there you go. That's a card to play. So, Scaled Behemoth. 6 mana for 6/7 hexproof. Crocodile. I like crocodiles, but this one is kind of meh. If he had trample, different story. But as it is, he's gonna get chumped all day, and that's about it. he's not gonna see that much like play. I don't think. Limited play only. Unless somehow I'm wrong and standard just starts getting weird and he gets played. Which otherwise I'd be like, well, damn, I guess I was wrong. But I'm not. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be wrong about this guy. Shed weakness. When green, target creature gets +2/+2 till turn turn. You may remove a -1/-1 counter from it. It's actually not too bad because in a way it's a giant growth. In a way, but for the most part it's just a like +2/+2. But it's not bad. Once again, it all depends on -1/-1 counters, and that's about all I can say. There's like I can't talk too much about -1/-1 counters until I see them put into a deck because all the ones I've seen are not that good. Here's a pretty good one, I think, though. Stinging Shot. Green. Put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature with flying. It's not bad. It's not a plummet, though. But the reason why is because it has cycling for 2. I like it, but it's only going to be sideboard play only. And even then, there's no guarantee it's going to kill anything, but it could hurt something quite a bit. Alright, Synchronized Strike. 3 mana for untap up to 2 target creatures. They each get +2/+2 until turn. It's not too bad, actually. Very decent pump because overall it's +4/+4 spread between 2 creatures. And you get to untap them. So it's also a combat trick because they wouldn't expect it. Like a decent combat trick in green. So, not bad. Alright. Now to the multicolor stuff. On Crop Champion. 2, a green and a white. For a human warrior, he's a 4/4. That's not bad. You may exert him when you do untap all other creature you control. This is actually a really solid card. Like, with this, he actually helps other exert creatures a whole lot. Because you just swing with him and, like, 3 other exert creatures, and he kind of negates their, like, exert ability. Like, well, they exert, but they also untap, so it's not bad, though. Unless I'm reading this wrong, but I'm not too sure about that. I hope he works the way I'm hoping he does. If he is, he'll be very good and limited and possibly EDH. And there's a slight fringe possibility of him being standard playable. Because he's a 4/4 for 4. It's not too bad. I wish he was a like monocolor guy, but it's not bad. Aven Wind Guide. 4 mana for 2/3 flying vigilance. Bird warrior. Creature tokens you control have flying and vigilance. That's actually really good because Embalm would definitely love flying and vigilance creatures. So, I think this is going to see EDH play and possibly even a slight bit of standard play. And obviously, it's going to be seeing limited play because it's a flying vigilance card. Like, for 4. It's really good. And all of his abilities on him